So, team is growing, lots of new faces, interesting, obviously, growth over year 4. I think one of the big things certainly coming into Social Shepherd that I've noticed is the type of characters and people that we have in the building. You know, real flex of sort of age in terms of there's a really quality set of grads coming through. I suppose if you can call them grads or younger people, first roles, right the way through to now sort of bringing in senior people with lots of experience.
Well, I think it's good now that our average age is probably leveling up a little bit, because I do think sometimes, and this is kind of going off topic a little bit, but social in particular does have a very young demographic as an industry.
Yep.
But sometimes it dismisses the value that comes with experience. And I think it's really important that people recognize that. So that's a side note. But we are definitely, we are investing in bringing in more experienced people, not just from a skill set perspective, but also helping us grow the business and run it.
Absolutely. But I think, interestingly, whatever the sort of age and group is, there's a certain personality and attitude in the building. So it'd be really interesting to understand. I mean, obviously I'm still relatively new, but what for you, what are the kind of attitudes, traits, skills that you're looking for sort of an employee of the Social Shepherd?
Yeah, so I think if we take it back to, so if we look at entry level, so whether you've done a degree, whether you haven't done a degree, I don't really care, to be entirely honest. You know, I have a postgrad, and I can honestly say I didn't really learn very much from it. But we don't really care if you've done a degree or not. At that stage, it is very much more about attitude, and like being able to show initiative and being able to think outside the box. And so everyone gets given a task, and when we think of entry level, it's all quite similar, the tasks, because we're looking at your ability to think creatively, that you care about the social landscape, because you can't work in social if you're not active on social, unfortunately. And we're not saying that you need to be like the next Zoella, but you need to care about the platforms and recognize them from both their strengths and their weaknesses within society. But the core thing is attitude and being able to see that you're going to be able to take initiative, that you're going to care, that you're going to do what's required to get the job done, and that you're going to be a positive team player.
Yeah.
That's what we really look like. I always say we can teach you the skills, but we can't teach you the attitude. So we do expect you to come with a really good attitude, and that doesn't mean that you have to be the loudest person in the room. And I think that's really important, that you don't have to be bouncing off the walls all the time to have a positive attitude and be able to positively contribute to a group of people. And then when we get to sort of more experienced levels, again, obviously we're making sure that people know what they're talking about, but that doesn't mean that they have to completely align with our strategies all the time. You know, the reason that we bring people in that are experienced is so that their experience can help us inform our future. Yeah. So, you know, we'll have people that come in for paid media manager or senior manager roles, and provided that we're speaking the same language and we feel like they're a good cultural fit, you know, it's not really the end of the world. And, you know, there's 100 different ways to run an ad account. But it just so happens that we have a couple different strategies that may be our core strategies, but we definitely do not rely on one of them. So from a manager to senior manager perspective, again, attitude is super important. And also sort of the ability to want to be part of that. I know we're sort of entering scale up, but that's startup mentality.
Yeah.
And understanding that you have a voice and wanting to have a voice and wanting to implement change and be part of something. Proactiveness is so important, particularly when we're going to bring a manager on who's going to train up execs and help them progress in their career. And then when we get through to senior management, which we've been bringing yourself and Ben and Kelly into at the minute, again, it's about understanding that entrepreneur sort of attitude, because at the same time we are growing this together, and it is a startup at the minute, and just the ability to care and to want to be here is really important. So yeah, I think across the board, everyone has varying levels of expertise whenever they join, obviously, which makes sense for their job titles and roles, but attitude is so important, and just like positive vibes only. That's what we need.
Yeah.